There aren't many video game genres that can elicit the same thrill as racing games, and alongside FPS perhaps, racing sits amongst the most popular type of games across the world. There's a huge variety in the genre too, from arcade drifters, wacky karting, and demanding simulations. An impossible task is picking 15 of the best racers, but alas, here's a rundown of what we think are the best of all time. Moto GP4. Unlike many annual sports titles, MotoGP developer milestones strive for meaningful improvements with every iteration, and MotoGP24 is the biggest leap between versions since the Italian studio took over in 2013. Principal of these changes are bike physics, especially the feel of the rear brakes into corners and the stability of the two-wheelers as you accelerate out. Competition is fiercer too. Adaptive AI and penalties dished out from stewards to any rider on track, not just a player, fosters centimeter-close front-wheel to rear-wheel racing. F1 24. Grumbles of broken physics preceded F1 24, complaints that in pursuit of authenticity, codemasters inadvertently made the game too easy. Well, it's true F1's most recent racing sim is more forgiving, but all of those symptoms of poor setup, oversteer, understeer, etc. still exist. You still need to nurture your tire compound, consider tire age and fuel load, adjust front wing mid-race, but all of these tweaks are the most accessible they've been in years. Authenticity without the steep learning curve? There's nothing wrong with that. Ride 5. For motorcycle enthusiasts only, the Ride series is uncompromisingly realistic, which to anyone not intent on overcoming its steep learning curve is a fault. However, master your bike's physics and Ride is the most freewheeling motorcycle experience available in gaming. Unlike Milestone's efforts in MotoGP, Ride 5 doesn't feature much in the way of differences from prior versions, save for improving dynamic weather, adding split-screen racing, and more bikes to ride. It's stunning to look at though, sounds incredible, and despite only minor tweaks, 5 is the best Ride game released. Aceto Corsa. The reason 2014's Aceto Corsa endures is in what can best be described as race feel, a nebulous concept encompassing steering resistance, turn and bite, snapping oversteer, feeling which translates impeccably through wheels and paddles. The game captured the physicality of racing above its contemporaries, and its physics hold up today some 10 years later. Official licenses for Lamborghini, Ferrari, and Porsche were a coup for the fledgling developer Cuno Simulazioni too. WRC9. Another annual sports title with incremental changes on its previous year's incarnation, WRC9 refined the slithering car physics established in WRC8 without reinventing the wheel. The demanding deft control to thread your weighty car sideways over undulating gravel and tarmac largely unaltered. The big changes in WRC9 were the addition of 3 stunning new stages: serene coastal New Zealand technically challenging Japan, and the best of the bunch, the iconic Safari Rally of Kenya. Gran Turismo 7. We could have opted for Gran Turismo 2 or 3 for this feature, as groundbreaking as those entries were, but GT7 gets the nod precisely because it's the culmination of all that came before, a celebration of motorsport. A wide variety of events to unlock, a town-sized garage worth of vehicles, cool challenges, drag racing, all cars endlessly tweakable, with a smorgasbord of carefully recreated real-world tracks and original creations. Thankfully, the brutal in-game economy has been softened, meaning that Lamborghini Murcielago isn't quite as unattainable as its real-life counterpart. Forza Horizon 5. Much like Gran Turismo 7, Forza Horizon 5 represents the culmination of all that came before, a formula established in its predecessors but its best iteration yet. Behind Horizon's racing is its open world, and 5's rendition of Mexico is incredibly detailed and varied. Twisting mountain passes, parched desert highways, dense jungle tracks, this landscape has it all. While the festival vibe was toned down with this entry, Forza Horizon 5's improved driving physics coupled with the best backdrop the series has ever seen meant this is the most joy-filled Horizon of them all. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Ask anyone what their favorite Need for Speed is, and they'll likely say Most Wanted. They could mean the 2005 or 2012 reinterpretation, but we've opted for the 2012 version here. Whilst there were complaints Criterion didn't provide us with the game that we were all expecting, or indeed a meaty enough single-player campaign, Most Wanted 2012 features some of the best wheel-to-wheel racing in the entire NFS canon, blending Burnout-style mayhem with Hot Pursuit's relentless cops in tow. Customization of cars is kept to a minimum. Instead, key to its success is the design of its sprawling open-world city Fairhaven, fostering white-knuckle speed whether it's on the looping interstate or downtown's compact streets. Hot Wheels Unleashed. A surprisingly excellent arcade racer is Hot Wheels Unleashed. Even if you've never wheeled out the toy cars when you were a child, it's hard not to submit to unleashed childlike glee as you careen your die-cast miniature through wonderfully loopy tracks. The carefully recreated toy cars are the stars though, and their high customizability makes collecting the lot a desirable endeavor. Project Cars. Whilst being another deeply tweakable, demanding, and immersive racing sim, you might have thought Project Cars is for motorsport purists only. Like, maybe you'd need profound car knowledge to get the best out of your vehicles. Well, Project Cars distinguishes itself from its contemporary racing sims in that its deep customization is immensely approachable, thanks to a vast array of parameters that can be adjusted and fiddled to your liking. Authenticity and approachability are the holy grails of simulation racing, and Project Cars delivers both in spades. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There are numerous challenges to the chaotic kart racing crown, Crash Team Racing, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, but as good as these racers are, none are capable of dethroning the originator, Mario Kart. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe gets the nod for this feature as, despite any of Mario's karting games arguably good enough to be included, Nintendo's latest is the greatest shape Mario Kart has ever been. Composively infuriating races across a range of new and old school tracks make Mario Kart 8 Deluxe essential racing fodder. Dirt Rally 2.0. When Codemasters released Dirt Rally in 2015, it was hailed as the studio's greatest ever game, the pinnacle of simulation racing, a perfect encapsulation of rallying's demanding push and pull. Could they improve on perfection? Well, enter Dirt Rally 2.0. A rallying game which somehow amped up the already pristine handling of its predecessor but added a host of other car-freely type things. The surge of relentless power through the wheels, the squirrely back end over wet gravel, the uncertainty of downhill braking. Dirt Rally 2.0 is the closest approximation to the feel of rally without, getting behind the wheel of one for real. Trials Rising. The physics-bending motocross puzzler reached its pinnacle with Trials Rising thanks to its wonderfully wacky track designs requiring uber skill and finesse to complete, its broad range of bike and rider customizations, and the most accessibility tutorial that has ever been featured in a Trials game. It held your hand but kept the stabilizers firmly off, teaching you the deftest maneuvers to overcome the game's devilish obstacles. The only downside, as is typical with Ubisoft, was the grind. Overlook that if you can, and Trials Rising is an all-timer. Midnight Club 2. Rockstar knocked it out of the park with Midnight Club 2, a seamless blend of cutthroat arcade street racing with Rockstar's penchant for illegality. Some might argue Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition is the one, but Midnight Club 2 is inarguably as evergreen, and it has something Midnight Club 3 doesn't have: nostalgia. Fire up a PS2 to revisit Midnight Club 2, and it's amazing how upbeat it feels. The intensity of speed holds up so well. The Crew 2. Hugely ambitious, varied, and rewarding, The Crew 2 took pages out of Forza Horizon's playbook to eschew the crime-riddled angle of its predecessor to something more exploratory. And boy, could you explore in The Crew 2. Practically the entirety of the United States was explorable by land, sea, and air. Hundreds of hours could be sunk into its open world with new, unseen areas still discoverable. Of course, racing an F1 car through Monument Valley or flying a Spitfire underneath the Golden Gate Bridge are the elements of The Crew 2 which never get old. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.